Joe Talbot's 2019 film, The Last Black Man in San Francisco, paints a delicate homage to the African American communities who have been pushed out of San Francisco due to the city's ongoing gentrification crisis. Through clever uses of color, soundtrack, and production design, Last Black Man in San Francisco is not a call to action, but rather the catalyst for a conversation and reflection upon how gentrification has affected San Francisco natives. Gentrification and urban displacement is a pertinent issue all across the world, but San Francisco in particular serves as an example of what some call tech colonialism. Not only is there an overwhelming underrepresentation of people of color being employed by these companies, but San Francisco has now become one of the most economically unequal cities in the United States. This forced dislocation is not new. There's a direct link between historical colonialism and the gentrification created by the modern practices of tech companies within these urban spaces. Last Black Man in San Francisco touches upon topics like identity and toxic masculinity, but it uses the story of a singular man, Jimmy Fails, to exemplify the effects of gentrification on the Black community. Fails and his best friend Montgomery regularly visit and upkeep the aesthetics of Fails' grandfather's house, which now belongs to a white couple. Fails' story is not a unique one. He stands as a representative for the differing yet similar heartbreaking stories that Black San Franciscan natives share. Talbot's film is powerful, and right from the beginning, the remarkable opening sequence sets the tone for a theme commonly centered on loving something and knowing it doesn't love you back. First, color. The film's stunning color palette uses vibrant hues to show the rich history and love from the Black communities in the city. There's a clever nod to the tech colonialism occurring as we see people working in tech, isolated, stuck to their devices, and dressed in bland colors, in comparison to the deep hues that highlight the Black natives of the area. In particular, the film's use of red connects Jimmy to the city, and it exemplifies his love and passion for San Francisco. As we see Jimmy skating towards his grandfather's house, there are direct links highlighted between him and the home. His fabric blowing in the wind, the sweat, the gold trim, the red coats. Yet even in this small sequence, there is a key difference. Jimmy is Black, and the home and its current residents are white. Even though he is a personified version of the home and its history, he has no place in its white world. Not only do we see Jimmy always in red whenever he's at the house, the first time we see him fixing it up, he's painting it red. The red serves as a direct extension of his love and care for the home. From his red flannel to the red socks on his feet, his love can't help but overflow into the city. At the end of the film, when he ultimately decides to leave, the color palette is no longer vibrant. Even the bridge, known to be bright red, is now painted in a sorrowful yellow light. Jimmy's departure changes the city. Without the presence of those who made San Francisco what it is, the soul and the love that once made the city so bright, vibrant, and exciting is no longer there. Second is soundtrack. The soundtrack is nostalgic, heartwarming, and even majestic. The score not only provides the film with an extra layer of poetry, but its ability to romanticize the city reflects the way Jimmy feels about his home. Each shot of the city is emotionally charged, and being inspired by the city's pop music heritage, the music draws back to the theme of loving something and knowing it doesn't love you back. While the soundtrack romanticizes the city's treatment of its Black communities juxtapose the tones that are created. There is a fondness for the city being shown through the music, which exemplifies the love that the natives have. But the soundtrack also transforms the film into an unrequited love letter that blankets the unfair treatment of the natives in the area. Third is production design. Talbot explains that in order to emphasize the pain of natives leaving the area, he wanted to make San Francisco appear to be truly lived in. While we see new homes being built and many homes being put up for sale, the area itself feels barren and abandoned. Once put on the market, Jimmy's house has become a hollow shell that no longer possesses the culture it once had. The refurnished home features modern decor that does not suit the tone of the home, and it no longer matches the amount of love that was once in it. But on the outskirts of the city, we see the Black communities living in places filled to the brim with loving history. Although small, the weight of their love can still be felt. The production design becomes a physical representation of the marginalized community. While their legacy and contributions to the city are essential, they are not recognized as integral and essentially become forgotten. Through these intentional uses of color, soundtrack, and production design, Last Black Man in San Francisco creates space for audiences to reflect on gentrification and the modern-day colonization of Black communities in the area. The film is gentle in its loving approach. It not only shows the history of Black multi-generational families in the area, but it also shows how the city has mistreated them and has failed to acknowledge their presence. In recognizing how the city does not love these communities back, the film asks for us to reflect on how gentrification has transformed the city they once knew and loved.